And what type of engineer are you?
Electrical and electronic.
What do you do in your field of engineering?
What did I do? I worked in the manufacturing industry.
I just said there. Which industry did you work closely with? How did you get into engineering and why?
When I was younger, so when I was your age, in Blues Girls as it happens, I was really interested in physics. I had a good teacher of physics, and I was always interested in how things worked and why they worked the way they did. So I was always interested in that and always asking lots of questions. So it just seemed natural to go into sort of engineering and science.
What subjects did you take for GCSE/A-level?
I didn't do A-levels, but for GCSE I did physics, music, maths, English, I can't remember now, art, I think. It was different when we did. How many's that? It was 8 or English lit, English lang, but the sciences were in there. Yeah. And then because I came to the girls' school and we didn't really have engineering as such, I went to a technical college then and did a diploma in engineering. So I didn't actually go to A-levels, I went and did more of a vocational engineering because it was more hands-on. And I did another course after that, but each summer I worked in local industry for my 6 weeks to get experience at the same time as doing my qualifications. So when I finished then I was able to offer my qualifications and a little bit of experience. So.
Did you know about engineering before you got into it?
Not really, no. I mean, my dad has got his own business and my brother, they're really practical sort of people. My mum isn't, but you know, so I think maybe in my family there are sort of engineering threads, and my dad used to rally cars and sort of design his own race car, and the engine would always be in bits in the garage and things. So I was always surrounded by sort of more car, automotive, whatever, engineering, more than electronics. So I knew I wanted to do something that was sort of problem solving, but I didn't want the dirty engineering side of it. So, and I liked maths and I liked physics, so that's why I went more towards electronics.
What's the most interesting engineering job/course you've done?
Well, I did my masters. That was really interesting because it was related to the reliability of products. So in my job in industry, it was all to do with consumer electronics, so satellite receivers, TVs, all those types of things that surround us. I was in charge of the reliability of a product, so we need to age it, so artificially age the product so it looked like it was a year old even though it was a month old, so by using temperature profiling, so we'd be able to simulate what it looked like in a year's time in terms of operation, to see whether it was going to catch fire or, you know, basic things like that. So reliability and looking at that side of the design and proving the concept, that was really interesting.
Do you see yourself working in engineering 10 years from now?
Well, like yourselves, being female, I went from industry, I finished in industry, I've got 3 little boys, so I decided to keep my engineering theme going. I decided to go into teaching, so that because in the job that I had, I did a lot of travelling across Europe for problem solving to customers and things, which was really exciting when I was after I graduated, so in my early 20s. So I did lots of travelling, and I couldn't sustain that with a young family, so I decided to take a teaching qualification after my masters and after I'd done my children. So that I could then, the university asked me after my masters to teach part-time, just one module in reliability as it happens. I really enjoyed teaching and enthusing the students about the job that I did. So I did that for 12 weeks and I wanted to do it more, and then I had the children in parallel with that, so decided to go into teaching. And I think that Well, I've been in teaching now for 14 years. So my eldest son is 15. And I've been teaching pretty much for most of his life, so that I had the work-life balance with, so I still keep my interest. I work with industry to get industry involved with the students in uni. I love talking to you now to get you interested in doing something to do with engineering, if you know that's the way you're going to go. And I use my energy that way rather than doing an engineering job, but I teach engineering and at a university level, so I'm not actually problem solving now, but I'm trying to encourage people to do that career because it's really exciting.
And that leads on to the next question. Where would you suggest for more young people to find more information about engineering?
Well, you can go on to the professional body website. So for mechanical engineering, that would be IMechE. For electrical and electronic, it would be IET. So you can go on those websites and look to see what things are going on in the local area, plus nationally. That's a good place to start. You could speak perhaps to your careers teacher in school. I don't know how informed they are, but you know, you can always go to the local university to ask questions if you're interested in further information about courses that you could go on. You know.
Why do you think there are more male engineers than females in general?
Well, I just think historically it's been seen as a male sort of environment. And that is not the case, you know. I mean, it's a problem that needs solving, and whether you're a male or a female brain, you know, we're all equal in the way that we can approach the problem, and that's the skills you're learning in your academic life. Is there's the problem, how do we break that down into manageable pieces and solve that problem? So whether you're male or female doesn't really matter, you know. But I think historically, because of the way education is, if you look back, it was generally males, and but it's unfortunate that we're now in 2016 and still quite, I think it's changing though, isn't it? It is too.
It has the ability to be more open, but I still think there's perceptions.
There is, and I think it's to do with, you know, home life, education. You know, I'm from Nelson, right? And I mean, you know, it depends on your parents and your grandparents, what's their views on it. Maybe they're very sort of, oh, well, that's for a boy, that, you know. There's still an element of that. There was when I was growing up. Electronic engine, what are you going to do? What, you're going to wire a house? You know, I'm not going to wire a house. You know, it's all to do with computing and like mobile phones and all the technology. But, so trying to explain to people, because you maybe your peers, your friends, your family don't have the understanding of it. So maybe that's the reason.
What would you say is the female to male ratio in your branch of engineering?
When I worked in the department, there was 22 male members of staff and I was the only female.
Wow.
So it's quite high where isn't it? But there's quite a few across engineering. That's what I was just in electronic engineering.
Yeah,
How
but
many
percentage-wise,
percentage
it's still
is
quite low.
very
We're looking
low.
at between 6 and 7%.
Is it? Yeah, I didn't know the actual number.
What advice would you give to young girls so that they may be interested into engineering?
Well, it's exciting, and you know, it's an environment that's changing quickly because the technologies in certain types of engineering anyway. You know, you can travel, you meet lots of different people. No 2 days are the same. I mean, I just think it's exciting to be able to find a solution to a problem, or even be part of something that's going to make something much better than it was before. So working on something that can evolve, you know, or improve. And as an engineer, whether you're working with water, structures, you know, products, it's all going to change somebody else's life for the better, hopefully. You know, and I like to feel part of that. On it's a bit of, you know, deep, but you know, that's that's what motivated me in the beginning.
And that's the end.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's okay.